Episode 68, You Don't Have to Be Techy to Be Successful Online. Welcome to the Gayla Scrivener Show. I'm certainly glad you're here today. You're in the right place if you're looking for ideas and inspiration to start and grow your own small business. Just because you're a small business owner doesn't mean you think small. On the contrary, you think big. I broke away from the 9-to-5 grind and stifled by a cubicle to create a work-from-anywhere lifestyle. Having the freedom to work from practically anywhere is such a cool feeling. But here's the thing though, it doesn't happen overnight and it doesn't happen without work. But all the time and the effort and the learning and the stretching is so worth it. Every week in this podcast, I'm sharing my experiences that I've had in growing my business and achieving the work-from-anywhere lifestyle. You too can experience wonderful adventure and freedom as you live life on your own terms. Be proud to be small, yet always think big. Well, today I am bringing back my wonderful husband to the show. Hey, Mr. Scrivener, how are you doing?
I'm doing exceptionally well.
I'm bringing you on the show because we are on a roll and doing podcasts. We have been content creation machines lately.
Yes.
Yes. And I typically kind of write out scripts for my podcast, and we have been there doing that podcast, and we just kind of have a conversation. And I thought, you know what? I have so much fun having a podcast with you, so why don't you come on to the Gayla Scrivener Show? So
okay.
Here you are.
Ta-da.
Ta-da! Well, the title of the show is that you don't have to be techie to be successful online. Because I picked that topic because a lot of our clients for Scrivener Solutions don't consider themselves techie. And we help them out behind the scenes. But do you consider yourself techie?
Not at all.
I consider yourself mechanically inclined, but that's totally different, isn't it?
That is different. Yeah, I'm kind of technology challenged, I guess.
What challenges you?
Oh, I know how to maneuver around in social media stuff. But the behind-the-scenes building for me is a little
overwhelming.
Tough. And overwhelming, yes.
Yeah. Well, I am super proud of you.
Why is that?
Because you have just created your new personal brand.
I have.
RobertScrivener.com.
That is correct.
And this year, I launched GaylaScrivener.com. And in past, we have kind of hidden behind business names. And personal branding is really a way to go. I think that a lot of our clients are like either coaches or consultants or things like that. And if they hide behind a business name, you just don't connect as well. People like to work with people.
Them.
Yeah. So we've launched our personal brands, but I'm super proud of you because, we had joked quite some time, but it seems like we've been struggling on, well, what direction do you want to go? Because, gosh, how many years ago did we start Scrivener Photography?
Long time.
It's been
2011-ish.
Yeah. And
10-ish. It was before 2010.
Right. And you don't particularly like to take pictures of people.
No, I'm a landscape or.
You're artistic in other ways and not portrait photography. Now, we've done some event photography.
Mm-hmm.
Well, chuck wagon race, that's quite eventful.
That's quite an event right there.
And have taken superb photographs at events, but you do not like to pose people.
I don't like to tell them how to pose.
Right. You struggle when I say, hey, Robert, can you do some headshots for me? Yeah, you don't like that. So I try not to, for the sake of our marriage, I try not to ask very often.
Yeah.
And so many people are wondering, like, well, you're married to a photographer. Why can't he take your pictures? Well,
Mm-hmm. There's your answer.
You do a lot of photography. You do a lot of music.
Mm-hmm.
And we overland.
Mm-hmm.
You do leather work.
Yep.
What else do you do? Oh, ham radio stuff.
Of course.
Oh,
everybody should know that.
Yes. And you have a website for your ham radio, N0RVS.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just started to get a little out of hand. But
Overwhelming.
Because you got all these different avenues. And we got to talking and we decided, why can't we just consolidate this?
Make it into one.
Make it into one.
One place for everything.
And you hear all the time that, well, you need to focus on one thing and one thing only. That is just not you.
No.
It is really not you. You get kind of grumpy.
Yeah, I do.
You're all in doing leather. And for weeks, it's all and everything about leather.
Mm-hmm.
And then you switch to ham radio.
Yep.
Then everything about ham radio. And then you're concentrating on music.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, music, when you concentrate on music, it's more of you've got a lot of gigs to work. You don't sit around home just
figuring out songs.
Yeah.
No, it's go out, play music, come home early in the morning, late at night.
Yes. Although you had worked up a song. It took you all month.
It took me a whole month.
While we were traveling for a whole month.
It's not an easy song.
No.
A lot of lyrics in that one.
So we listened to that song a lot on YouTube.
We did, but there was no radio inside the Jeep when we was traveling.
Nope.
So I wasn't listening to it as going down the road.
No. But I've been teaching you a little bit of WordPress. That's...
Yes, I knew some, but
you get
enough
a little
to be
into...
scared. Yeah, and I did something on my N0RVS website, and it took you a couple days to figure out what it was, and I didn't know exactly what I did.
Yeah.
And I messed something up.
Well, you're a typical client.
Okay. Now that we got that squared away.
No, but I think that every business owner, because, well, first of all, if we want to continue...
Time out here.
Yeah.
I know the simple stuff, like how to add pictures, do the blog, add words, and upload media to it to add pictures. And that's about it. Oh, add links. I know how to add links.
Well, you know what?
Put website links.
I think that
and that was simple.
I think that's the most important thing. And you
and
had
tags and categories, and that was about it.
Yeah. Well, you know enough for you to do your own blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
And be able to create your own blog posts and not depend on anybody else on that. Now, you needed some help getting it started, right?
Yes.
And then with a few simple lessons, if you will, then I taught you how to create the blog post, how to publish it, how to schedule it, where the tags go, how to do images, and you can create blogs, which is very important because we've talked last week, talked about why everybody should blog, and have a consistent blog schedule. But just being able to feel comfortable on how to post a blog, I think that's big. And I don't think that just because you feel apprehensive about the tech, that should stop anyone.
No, there's ways to learn. Go on YouTube or find a different avenue, somebody to show you or tell you. I like to be shown.
Yeah, you like me
I
over
like
your
visual.
shoulder.
I like visual, and instead of hearing about it, it'd take longer if I heard about it and followed the steps in my head, just listening to somebody saying go in here. But I like seeing what they're doing.
Well, we could not have our work from anywhere lifestyle without the internet.
That is true.
And we could not have this, this freedom that we are gaining each and every year of being able to travel more and more, building our business more and more without the technology that's around us. And we are able to have our websites, work in social, promote what we do, and we wouldn't be able to do that without the internet. And I believe that anyone should not be held back because they think that they're not techie.
Yeah.
And where can people go? You say, go to YouTube and look things up. But, I've been working with more and more clients. You and I own a virtual assistant company. So we, in essence, are the button pushers behind the scenes.
Yep.
Your specialty is the podcasting because your musical talent, your audio talent is being able to edit and put together podcasts, which is great. And we have people on our team that's really great on social and emails and website updates and things like that. So the Scrivener Solutions team help business owners, push their buttons, I guess you can say. But that comes with, when you're first starting out, you can't really afford, so many times you can't really afford somebody to hire, You kind of are stuck in doing it yourself. And sometimes you may want to just do it yourself. But for all practical reasons, you are apprehensive in hiring somebody because you're just starting out and you don't have the income to hire someone, right?
That is correct.
So I've come in contact with a lot of people in this predicament. They feel their technology challenged, and then they don't feel like they can hire someone yet, and they feel like they're stuck. And so I've been kind of tutoring them on the side a lot in the last few years. And we've had more and more demand for this because there are folks that take classes, like online classes on how to start a YouTube channel and this, that, and the other. And they get the big concepts, but the simple stuff, what I think may be simple, they're afraid to ask because they feel like they're far behind on folks. And I hate that. I really do. I want to create a place where folks can come together and we can talk about ideas of what works for some and what works for not others, but then just learn the basics so that people like yourself, maybe we can get started their website, or maybe their website has already been created, but it hasn't been touched forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they can come to a place to learn how to upload a picture, to learn how to, share it on social, and learn how to create content calendars and be able to get systems in place so that they save time. They're not so anxious about it. And eventually they'll need to hire somebody because they need to focus on other things. But they already have a system in place and they can tell folks, well, this is how I want it done. And then they can, move forward. What do you think about that?
I think that's great.
I am really excited to create this online community. And I think it may be a little ironic because the folks that we're helping are kind of scared of technology and we're doing an online thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's good too, because if you're in an online community where we can have regular video calls, like coaching calls, there's online tutorials, and a place where you can ask Gayla, whatever questions, and then I can show you in real time. That is valuable to everybody in the group. And you get used to showing up for the meetings. You get used to working in the technology. And I think that would be a great place to go. I hope this flies.
It's going to take off.
It's going to take off. So if you are somebody that feels technically challenged, just email me at info@scrivenersolutions.com. I would love that because I would like to, for you to be one of the first to get into the community and we can grow this thing together. Because I was just on a call, next week we are going to Franklin, Tennessee for Copywriting Academy, which is Ray Edwards puts that on. He's a copywriter from not Seattle, Washington, is it?
Somewhere up there in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Maybe Spokane.
That's it. Thank you.
It's one of those S ones.
I know. Well, I was just on a coaching call, a copywriting coaching call with him, and there wasn't very many writing samples for him to critique, and so there was a roundtable discussion, and it was a really good discussion, and there were folks in there just confused about how to use social media. And I don't think that there is a concrete right way. I just don't. Because, You are out there on social, by the way, a lot.
Yeah, some might say.
It seems like you are a little obsessed with Mr. Instagram.
Yeah, I like pictures.
You do like pictures, not a lot of words. And that's, even though Instagram has turned into a lot of words, I don't really read a lot of them. But I like to follow folks, and I like the pretty pictures. But you find it interesting. I've noticed that you have commented several times. It's like, I don't get it. I post something like, I don't know.
Something that you would think would get a lot of likes or reactions or generate some sort of response.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Crickets.
Yeah.
But then you do something that gets, like your ham radio stuff.
It's crazy.
It is crazy on that.
Just a picture of a radio sitting out in the yard on a lawn chair.
Yeah.
Gets, overwhelming amount of likes and comments.
Yeah. And for us, that, for you, that seems viral,
Yeah.
And then you have found that the content that we're creating for Been There Doing That on a regular basis, like this year, you've really focused on video.
Yes, for YouTube.
And you have experimented. You didn't know how to be a videographer.
And still not.
Oh,
but I'm just creating content.
You're creating content. And last week in my podcast, I pretty much kind of alluded to, or pretty much said, I think when you first start out in creating content, just do it for you. Just do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. If you're doing it for somebody, trying to make money or in it for something else other than yourself, it's not going to be
genuine.
Exactly.
In the marketing world, I know we're in business to make money. That is true. But social media, and it's a way of communicating. And I think that being genuine is a way, is the right way to go, personally.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're genuine and you become consistent and you have systems, you become a better communicator, and more will follow you. I mean, look at, we follow a guy by the name of Chris Shantz.
Yep.
Venture Forward.
Yes, Venture Forward.
It was Venture Forward WD, which we thought it was four-wheel drive, but it's Venture Forward. I like the play on words. But he started 2 years ago.
I think it was, maybe a little over.
And
somewhere around 2 years.
He has grown his YouTube channel tremendously. He's a full-time overlander. He lives out of his Jeep Rubicon.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of Jeeps are Jeeps.
It's an orange one.
It's an orange Jeep with a little pop-up that goes up, and he's a lone traveler, and he had transitioned from living in an apartment in a computer programmer or something like that in a cubicle, and then he was just like, I'm just traveling. And it was scary for him, and you could look back at his first videos. They're not nearly as good as they are now, and he has a certain style, and he has a certain following that, he is creating a living doing this.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, but he didn't do it just because, once in a while I'll produce a video. He made the commitment, okay, this is how I'm going to tell my story. Every Friday is my video.
But before that, he was just documenting his travels.
Mm-hmm.
Just for himself as a place to keep them.
Yes. And then it turned into a business.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed with your leather work, I mean, that's something that's really about to take off. You do what kind of leather work?
Well,
specialized.
It's 18th century hunting pouches around somewhere between 1750 and 1850 time frame.
And you've been posting your work on Facebook and Instagram, just in process and stuff. And you are involved in mountain man type stuff.
Yep.
And so you have already quite the following that are interested in what you're doing. And I think that we struggled so long trying to follow what other people say to do. Is like, okay, you can have a business and only focus on one thing. But you are a mountain. How did we do this? You have a title.
Was it HAM?
Something like that.
Ham Radio Adventure Mountain Man Music.
Something like that.
As ham with 3 M's.
3 M's. But how do you wrap that up? I mean, that's you, who you are. And when you post things out there on social or on your website, people are intrigued by, oh, well, you're a bearded man that plays music. Oh, but you also do leather work, and you're a ham radio operator. This is awesome. And you've actually found a few people out there that do
close.
all of that.
Close, yeah. It was 3 out of 4 is not bad.
I know. And so I think that the best thing and how we've grown is to be ourselves. And I encourage other people to do that. And honestly, when we started Scrivener Solutions and coming out of a corporate world, I was in the corporate world for 20 years, and you're supposed to leave home stuff, home life at home, and corporate stuff, work stuff at work. And you're not supposed to have a personality or anything like that. And that's not how it is. Business isn't like that anymore. It's more, we are drawn to certain folks. And so I encourage, if you are listening and want to get out of your 9-to-5 type thing, that start your personal brand. Just start. And I believe that you need a website, social media, and email stuff. But don't let that overwhelm you. Just start with posting things on social of what you like and
pictures.
Just be genuine.
I start with pictures.
Yes.
And I'm not much of a talker.
No.
So I don't write much words with them. Just a quick, brief description. That's it.
Right. And your blogs, they're
quick and to the point, and a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
That's the way I am.
And that's what draws people to you.
And it's not those little bitty thumbnail pictures. I like pictures big.
You do.
And if you click on it, it'll open up in a new screen.
Yes.
And you can blow that picture up because I like
you
to see
like
the details.
One thing that I've had to teach you is to have lower resolution on the web so that they actually come up on the computer instead of having your website churn and churn and churn and churn. But you've learned.
I have learned.
And it's things like that work well with teaching in our online community that we're getting started. So again, if you're interested in, if you're scared of techie stuff, you need to contact me at info@scrivenersolutions.com, SCRIVENER solutions.com, because I'm really excited about this online community that's about to happen. Yeah, it doesn't have to be so hard. I think that the starting is the hardest part, And, if you have a day job and you're working in the same routine with that and you want to do something different, where do you go to find the people that are struggling, have the same struggles and have the same questions and things like that? You've got to find your people, and this is where you can start, right?
That's correct.
You're going to be in the community, right?
I'm always there.
I know. You're always with me.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Well, I am proud of you, Robert.
Well, thank you.
I love what you're creating, both, with... you're a very creative guy. And
I got to have an outlet, I think.
And...
or else I get grumpy.
Very true. Very
true.
True. Very true. But, I have to attribute that our overlanding and me jumping out of a regular job, you've made, dreams come to reality, because I don't know if I would be an entrepreneur if I
hadn't
met you. Right.
Well, there we go.
You're
know. Welcome.
It's been how many years?
Oh, I think we're working on 15.
I think we are. And you have, with your freelance music, when I first met you.
It's chicken or feathers.
Yeah. Chicken or feathers? What does that mean? I just agreed with you.
Well, part of the month you're eating high on the hog,
Oh.
And then the last part you're scraping up the feathers.
Well, I remember...
Make hay while the sun shines, That's, strike while the iron's hot.
Didn't you say that in one of our last podcasts?
It could have.
I think so.
Is it retaining?
It is.
Okay.
But I remember when we first We were young in our relationship, and we didn't even call it a relationship, but you freaked me out.
No, we never dated.
We never dated. But I encouraged you wanted to play music, you just do it. And you were brave enough to jump out and do that full time. You were playing all the time.
211 dates a year.
Yeah. And we were not a couple officially. We told people.
Yeah.
We didn't see anybody else, but, that was our thing. And you had asked me to be your CFO.
Yeah.
That freaked me out, by the way, because I was like, I don't know if I want to get this involved with this man.
Mm-hmm.
But bookkeeping is not your thing.
No.
So I swallowed hard and said, okay, I'll help be your CFO.
Manage it.
I'll be your handler.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I was scared to death to do that. But just because I didn't know if, we were going to have a future together. Didn't know how involved I wanted to be with a hairy-legged guitar player.
That's true.
But I'm very proud of you. But I remember the lessons that you would give me, because when you have a paycheck every 2 weeks for ever, you budget differently. And then when I was helping you and I would see what bills were coming up for you, you would, and I'd freak out a little bit. It's like, well, I don't know where you're going to pay for this. Then you'd sit me down, look at the calendar, and you'd say, well, there's this gig, and I'm expecting this amount of money. And then by that time, we'll have the payment covered. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. But those types of conversations that we had, and me learning how to be a bookkeeper for a freelancer gave me the courage to take the leap. So I think that having a community that has perspective and different experiences, that we can all talk, and we're all doing some very cool things, and it takes a leap, and to have discussions where you don't feel judged or you don't feel made to feel like you're behind anybody, because I want to create a group where it's easy to talk with others, that people feel comfortable asking questions, and we can just show step by step. Because I have been told more than once that I break things down to where it's in small chunks and easier. And I hope that that's true. People keep coming back.
Keep saying it to you.
They keep saying it to me. So, well, Robert.
Yeah.
Thanks for making my podcast today easier for me to record.
No problem. Now I just need to get to edit it.
Yes, because this goes out tomorrow.
Less than 24 hours.
Yeah, so we've got to get it whipped up and over to Brandy.
And by the time they hear this.
I know, they're going to, but
We've did it 24 hours prior to this.
Exactly. I encourage folks to batch, but in practicality,
sometimes it does not happen.
Sometimes it doesn't happen because you got client work and then you've got your own stuff to do. So there's a balancing act. So I'll whip you into the equation and we do a podcast together once in a while.
I'm here.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. And again, I'm super excited about launching our new thing, our new online community, and it's just in the works. So if you know anybody that's feels technically challenged and they want to be in this online world, want to have a work from anywhere lifestyle, want to get the freedom to break away from their day job, they're reinventing themselves, email me at info@scrivenersolutions.com and inquire, because I'm taking applications and seeing if it's the right place for you, and I would love to hear from you. Until next time, why don't you? On our Been There Doing That podcast, you always say something clever.
I don't remember what I say sometimes.
I know. And until next time,
we'll enjoy the sunshine while it is shining.
All righty. Thanks so much.